My name is Bob Morris. I'm a professor of education here at West Georgia, and I've been here 19 years. That's good and bad, I suppose. I've taught at 6 other universities. I started out at Auburn in 1976. I was there 6 years. Then I moved to South Carolina, University of South Carolina, then Northern Illinois. From Northern Illinois, I went to Georgia Southern. I was the chair of a department there. Then I took a deanship at the University of Indianapolis, and then I moved here. So this is, I think that's 6. Sounds good. I want to answer a couple questions that were posed that might help a little bit in this completion of a doctorate. And the first one I wanted to answer was, what is the one thing you think every student should know about completing a dissertation? I think the one thing I would want you to know about completing a dissertation has to do with the notion that it's not a life's work, it is a work to get through. A lot of people approach a dissertation as if it's the greatest thing they'll ever do, when in fact it should be the beginning of research, the first research project that you have. It's in fact the way that we teach students how to do research, how to do it in a proper, correct manner. So don't approach it as if this has to be the greatest study that has ever been, or this is your greatest study. Approach it as if it's one of many studies in your life. Now, to do that, it means that you might have to shift topics. Don't be so embedded in a topic that you can't shift gears. I have a doctoral student right now who just and this is a student who finished all his coursework a year ago, was set on a topic, and finally came to the conclusion that that topic was not quite it. Now, when you leave one topic and move to another topic, it doesn't mean that you divorce yourself totally from that first topic, but it does mean that you shift gears. Being able to shift gears is very important as you work toward the completion of a dissertation. So, as you choose your topic, as you move forward with it, be ready to shift gears. And that probably would be the advice that I would give you that would be the most helpful, because oftentimes I found that students that get hung up on a topic are so embedded in it that the professor who is working with them really can't move them into another direction, or that they are too solid in that one topic, or they feel that they've invested so much in that one topic that the end result, getting a doctorate, gets lost someplace. Why were you successful in completing your dissertation? First of all, I was truly motivated to complete it. I'm not a writer, or I wasn't a writer at the time. I suppose I am a writer now. But I wasn't a writer at the time. I was a football coach. I was a basketball coach. I was a sports guy. I came into academia the least prepared to do the kinds of things that would be asked of you in a dissertation. But I approached the dissertation and the whole doctoral program very similar to the way that I approached athletics. And that is, kind of dumb, but I'll tell it to you. It is that everybody's better than me, but I will keep playing the game until I win it. That means I might get beaten down. That means I might lose along the way a few games and win a few, but I will keep playing until I win. I made up my mind I was going to complete the doctoral program no matter what. And I have to say to you, that may be why I was most successful personally. Now I want to talk about, in that same vein, I want to talk about major professor. I was very successful because I had a major professor who chose me, actually. Asked me to come to his office one day. I was taking a class. It wasn't a doctoral class. It was a master's. Back then it was a CAS, an EDS level class, but it was called Certificate of Advanced Study. And I was taking a CAS class in Indiana. And he asked me to come to his office. I had written a paper for his class, and I knew nothing about this professor, truthfully. And I went to his office thinking I was going to get scolded for a bad paper or ridiculed or something, and because I was one of these students that I wasn't a very good writer, truthfully. And lo and behold, he said, "You've written a good paper." And that, first of all, stunned me. And then, as the conversation went on, he asked me about what my occupation was and what I was doing. And I told him I was a coach first, and then a social studies teacher. And I was coaching at the university at that time. I was coaching football in Indiana. And he posed the question to me, "Why don't you quit football and come and work for me and be my last doctoral student?" I was more stunned by that question than anything else. I couldn't answer that question right away, and I said, "Let me think about it." And I, of course, asked him a few other questions, like, "What do you do?" Because he said, "You can do what I do." And I said, "Well, what do you do?" And he explained to me what he did. And it took me a while to figure that out. Eventually, I did quit sports, and I did become his last doctoral student, which was major. Unbelievable move for someone like me. But I have to tell you, he chose me. He looked at me and he saw something inside of me. I have to say to you also, as a major professor, I've done that with students too. I've looked at them and I've chosen students that I believe have the intestinal fortitude, the gregariousness, whatever it might be, but there are qualities. So that relationship then between the major professor and the student become enormous. Now, as a doctoral program becomes more online, that relationship gets somewhat skewed because that major professor doesn't have that contact. Now, Skype maybe will help, I don't know, because I've just started Skyping myself, but you still have to form that relationship. I've worked with online programs with Phoenix. I've had doctoral students who've gone through the Phoenix program, but even there I've been close to them. And even there they knew me, they understood me, and we worked pretty cohesively. That was before Skype came along. So my worry is that you might not have a major professor that you align yourself with. That relationship was key, and I suppose that's the part that I want to extend to you is that if you don't feel like your relationship's good, you have the power to ask for another major professor. So don't think that you don't have that power. You really do, because that relationship is important to you. They won't write the dissertation for you, but they'll be there, and they'll be the person that you sit and talk with and play ideas off on. And if they're really good at what they do, they'll edit what you do. But you can't always count on that. But that relationship may be the key for being as successful as you want to be.